Hello students, in this video I am going to solve the problems on the chapter income from other sources. So let us see the problem number 1. From the following receipts and payments of Mr. Devesh, resident, compute his taxable income under the head income from other sources. First one, winning from Madhya Pradesh State Lottery rupees 28,000. So it's a casual income. So the tax treatment of casual income says that if any winning from lottery, winnings from crossword puzzles, and winning from card games, if it is exceeding rupees 10,000, then the tax at the rate of 10% will be deducted and the remaining amount will be paid to the assessee. And if any winning from the horse races, the maximum limit or the exceed limit is 5,000 up to 31st 5 2016. I'm mentioning the date up to 31st 2016. If you are winning any income from the horse races, the maximum limit is rupees 5,000. But after that, the amount has been changed to 10,000. So if you are winning any amount either from the lottery, or it may be crossword puzzles, or it may be horse races or the card games, if it is exceeding rupees 10,000, then the tax amount will be deducted from the sources and the net amount will be paid to the assessee at the rate of 30 percentage. So in this problem, he is earning the income or receiving the income from the Madhya Pradesh State Lottery is 28,000. So it is more than 10,000. So tax, it is assumed that the tax amount has been deducted from this source. So we need to do the gross up. So gross up will be done by using the formula, that is net amount into 100 divided by 100 minus 30% as a tax rate. So 28,000 is a net amount into 100 divided by 100 minus 30 will get 70. So the gross up amount is rupees 40,000. Second one, winning from horse race rupees 1,000. So it is less than 10,000 rupees. So directly we are not taking or we are not doing any gross up. It is assumed that it's a gross up amount. So we have taken directly 1,000 under the head income from other sources because it is not exceeding the limit of rupees 10,000. So the tax is not deducted from the source. So it is a gross up amount. So directly the amount has been taken under the head called as income from other sources. Third one, winning from Rajasthan State Lottery rupees 3,000. Again, it is not exceeding the rupees 10,000. So it's a gross up amount. So directly we have taken 3,000 under the head income from other sources. Fourth one, winning from horses rupees 49,000. So 49,000, it is more than 10,000 rupees. So the tax has been deducted from the source. Means we are assuming that it's a net amount and we need to do the gross up. So the gross up will be done by using the formula net amount into 100 divided by 100 minus 30. That is tax rate. So 49,000 into 100 divided by 70 will get the 70,000 as a gross up amount on the winning from horse race. Next we have winning from crossword puzzle rupees 2,500. So since it is not exceeding the rupees of 10,000, so it's a gross up amount. So we have directly taken under the head income from other sources. Next, gift received from a friend in London rupees 1 lakh. So as per the Income Tax Act, there is a tax treatment for the gift received. So if you are receiving any gift from the relative, the maximum limit or there is no maximum limit of rupees 50,000. Whatever the amount if you have received, it is fully exempted from the taxes. Only if you are receiving the gift from the relative and at the time of marriage and by the way of will, any amount will be exempted from the taxes. But if you are receiving any gift from the non-relative, either it may be friend or it may be any cousin, the maximum amount is rupees 50,000. Means up to 50,000 you can claim the exemption. Above 50,000, entire amount will be taken to the taxable under the head called as income from other sources. So we need to check whether the gift has been received from the relative or non-relative. If it is received from the relative or at the time of marriage or at the by the way of will, the maximum limit is nil, means entire amount is exempted from the taxes. But if you are receiving any gift from the non-relative up to 50,000, you can claim the exemption. Above 50,000, whatever the amount, this entire amount will be taxable under the aid income from other sources. So here he has received the gift from a friend who is a non-relative. So entire and the amount is rupees 1 lakh, which is more than 50,000. So entire 1 lakh will be taxable under the aid income from other sources. Next, winning from card games, again rupees 2,500, which is less than 10,000. So 2,500 is a gross up amount. So we have taken gross winning from card games not subjected to TDS rupees 2,500 because it is less than 10,000. Next, they have given the purchase of lottery ticket. It's an expenditure which has been made by the assessee. So, as per the Income Tax Act, for the casual income, there is no any deduction or exemptions can be claimed. Either it may be purchase of lottery ticket or any commission paid for the agents. Only the exemptions can be claimed, that is the maintenance of horse races from the income from the or winnings from the horse races. Other than that, no exemptions will be claimed from the casual income. So the purchase of lottery ticket is not an expenditure, so we are going to ignore it. Next, winning from camel race. So in the casual income, we have already discussed that we need to earn the income from lottery, crossword puzzles, betting, gamblings, and races, only horse races. Then the maximum limit will be 10,000. Means if he is earning any income from such income, either it may be lottery or it may be gambling or it may be card games, crossword puzzles, or the horse races only, then up to 10,000. If if his income is less than 10,000, directly it is a gross up amount. So we are going to take into calculation. But if it is exceeding rupees 10,000, it is subjected that the tax has been deducted from these sources. So we need to do the gross up. Here they have given that winning from camel race rupees 30,000. So this amount or this winnings is not subjected to the TDS. So directly entire 30,000 will be taxable under the head income from other sources. So total income from other sources is 2,49,000. So the note says that any expenditure like purchase of lottery or any commission paid is not taxable or it not deductible from the income. Only the expenditure made for the maintenance of horses can be claimed as deduction only from the winning from horse races. Next, we'll move on to problem number 2. Sri Suryaputra has the following investment for the year ended 31st March 2019. First one, rupees 20,000 units of Unit Trust of India, income received rupees 4,000. So any income from the units of Unit Trust of India or mutual funds or any domestic company dividend received is fully exempted from the tax up to rupees 10,000. So if you are receiving any income from the Unit Trust of India up to 10 lakhs, it is fully exempted from the taxes. So directly rupees 4,000 is fully exempted from the taxes because we are receiving the income from units of Unit Trust of India. It is fully exempted from the taxes. Second one, we have rupees 80,000 in post office saving bank account, which earns the interest at the rate of 5% per annum. So here the assessee is earning the income in the form of interest on post office saving bank account. He has deposited rupees 80,000. For that 80,000 is earning the interest at the rate of 5% per annum. So first we need to calculate what is the interest amount. So I have taken interest on post office saving bank account 80,000 into rate of percentage is 5%. So I got interest amount 4,000. So there are some securities which has been given as an exemption. Means if you are depositing and if you are earning any interest on the post office saving bank account, you can claim the exemption up to rupees 3,500 if it is an individual account. And if it is a joint account up to 7,000, we can claim the exemption. So here is earning the interest on post office saving bank account. You can claim the exemption up to rupees 3,000 because it's an individual account. So actual interest earned is rupees 4,000. From that 3,500 can be claimed as exemption. So balance amount 500 will be taxable under the aid income from other sources. Third one, rupees 72,000, 10% tax-free debentures of Mysore Municipal Corporation. So they have clearly mentioned that it's tax-free debentures. So tax-free debentures can be, or tax-free securities can be issued by government as well as the commercial. So any tax-free securities which has been issued by the government, it is fully exempted from the taxes. And the tax-free exemptions or the tax-free securities has been given in the list which has already explained in the theory part. So please check the list and check whether the tax-free debentures of Mysore Municipal Corporation has been included in the list. So any securities which has been included in that exemption list, we are not going to calculate any interest on securities directly. We are going to take it as an exemption. If it is not included in the list of securities which is exempted from the taxes, then we need to calculate the interest on securities. We are assuming that that interest is a net amount and we need to do the gross up. So how to do the gross up? By using the formula net amount into 100 divided by 100 minus tax rate. So first we need to calculate the interest on security. So first take the deposit or the investment amount rupees 72,000 into rate of interest is 10%. So into 10% we got 7,200. It's a net amount. Now we need to do the gross of how 72,000 into 100 divided by 100 minus tax rate. So for interest on securities, either it may be listed or unlisted, 10% will be the tax rate. So 100 minus 10 will get 90. So interest on tax-free debentures rupees 8,000 will be taxable under the aid income from other sources. Next, 14% Karnataka State Electricity Board bonds rupees 30,000. So I have clearly mentioned in the theory part, if they're not given the word called as tax-free securities or tax-free debentures, it is nothing but it's a less tax securities. So if any securities which has been issued by the government, then it is no subjected to the TDS. So no TDS will be done. So directly the amount will be taken as an gross up amount. So is invested rupees 30,000 on the Karnataka State Electronics Board bonds 30,000 rupees. So the rate of interest is 14%. So 30,000 into 14% will get 4,200. I'm repeating, if they're not given any word called as tax free, then it is assumed that it's a less tax. And if any less tax securities issued by the government, then there is no TDS will be done. So if there is no TDS, the gross up amount will be directly calculated. So it has been calculated by using the investment amount and the rate of interest. So 30,000 into 14% will get 4,200 as an interest. Last one, rupees 50,000 fixed deposit with the Canara Bank, Mysore, at the rate of 8% per annum. So it is nothing but it's an interest on fixed deposit. So we need to calculate the directly. So conditions is that if the income is more than 10,000 rupees, then it is subjected to TDS. Means if in the problem they have given the interest directly, we need to check what is the amount. If it is more than 10,000, it's a net amount. So we need to do the gross up. But here they have given the investment amount as well as the rate of interest. So we need to directly calculate the interest. That is 50,000 is the fixed deposit amount and the rate of interest is 8%, so it is 4,000. So it is less than 10,000, so no TDS will be done. So directly the 4,000 we saying gross up amount, so it will be taxable under the head called as income from other sources. So The total income from the other sources is 16,700. So let's see problem number 3. Mr. Ranjit, resident, gives the following information of his income for the previous year 1819. Compute his gross total income. First one, dividend on equity shares from domestic company, gross rupees 12,000. So in the theory part, clearly explained that if you are receiving any dividend from the domestic company, or if maybe units of Unit Trust of India, up to rupees 10 lakh, we can claim the exemption. If you are receiving more than 10 lakh rupees, the difference amount or the balance amount will be taxable under the head income from other sources. So he is receiving the dividend on equity shares from the domestic company. So we can claim the exemption up to rupees 10 lakh, and the difference amount will be claimed as income under the head income from other sources. So just calculate dividend on equity shares is earned income of rupees 12 lakh. 10 lakh is the exemption amount. So the balance of rupees 2 lakh will be taxable under the head income from other sources. Next, second one, income from undisclosed sources. So any income from the undisclosed sources is fully taxable under the head income from other sources. So we have taken directly to the income from other sources. Third one, income from letting on hire of building and machinery under lease, rupees 30,000. So it's also an income will be taxable under the head income from other sources. So if you are receiving any income from letting on hire of building and machinery or any other equipments, we can claim the deduction like any depreciation or any repairs which has been made for that particular asset. So please check it out in the problem if there is any expenditure which has been made on that or machinery. So if you observe, they have clearly mentioned that depreciation allowed on building and machinery rupees 2000, and fire insurance on building and plant and machinery rupees 2000 for 250 rupees. So this 2000 and 250 can be claimed as deduction from the income from machinery or plant letting out on hire. So first take the income. So income from letting on hire of building and machinery under lease is rupees 30,000. So I have taken income from letting on hire of building and machinery under lease rupees 30,000. From that I am going to claim the exemption of rupees 2000 as a depreciation and 250 as a fire insurance on building and plant and machinery. So total exemption amount is 2250. So the balance amount 27,750 will be taxable under the head income from other sources. Next, interest on bank deposit. So I've already mentioned that if you are receiving any interest on bank deposit, we need to check the standard limit, that is 10,000. If it is more than 10,000, it is subjected to TDS, means we are assuming that it's the net and we need to do the gross up. But here the interest on bank deposit is rupees 3,200. So we have directly taken as in taxable income under the head income from other sources. Next, income received from the ground rent. So ground rent is nothing but it is a rent which has been paid by the building owner to the land owner for acquiring or for providing the services of land by the assessee. So any income received from the ground rent is taxable under the head income from other sources. It is fully taxable. So take directly income from ground rent rupees 6,000. Next we have director sitting fee received. It is not taxable in the first four heads of income. So it is taxable only under the head income from other sources. So rupees 4,000 is taxable under the head income from other sources. Next, winning from lotteries, they have given the word net. So if you observe in the problem, they have clearly mentioned the word called as net. So it is nothing but the tax has been already deducted from the sources and the net amount has been issued or paid to the assessee. So we need to do the gross up. So please clearly mention or please look into it. If in the problem they have clearly mentioned the word called as net, then ultimately or we need to do the gross up amount. So gross up amount will be done by using the formula net amount minus net amount into 100 divided by 100 minus tax rate. So it's in casual income. So the tax rate is 30%. So just calculate the gross up amount. Winning from lotteries, net received 7,000 is the net amount into 100 divided by 100 minus 30, 70. So we'll get 10,000 as in casual income under income from other sources. Next, we have the gifts. So if you observe, there are four types of four gifts has been received by the assessee. One, received rupees gift as rupees 80,000 as gift from the friend Keshava. So any gift which has been received from the non-relative, either it may be friend or the cousin, if it is more than 80,000, the entire amount is taxable. If it is less than 50,000, then the amount is fully exempted from the taxes. So if you are receiving any gift from the non-relative, we need to check the maximum limit, that is 50,000. If it is less than 50,000, it is fully exempted from the taxes. If it is more than 50,000, entire amount of gift is fully taxable. So since it is more than 50,000, so gift received from the Keshav is fully taxable. So we have taken 80,000. Next, second gift which has been received from the gift rupees 1 lakh as received gift from his elder brother. So here he has received the gift from the elder brother is related to the assessee. So whatever the amount in the form of gift, if you are receiving from the relative, it is fully exempted from the tax free, or it is a tax free income. So entire 1 lakh will be taken as tax free. Next, gift on his marriage. So I have already clearly mentioned that if you are receiving any gift on the occasion of marriage, it is fully exempted from the taxes. So enter 1,40,000 is a tax-free income. Next, received a gift from his grandmother, rupees 40 lakh. So since the grandmother is a relative, so whatever the amount or whatever the gift received from the relative, it is fully exempted from the taxes. So gift received from a grandmother is tax free. Now we have seen the four transaction. Now we need to take the total or aggregate of all the transaction. If the total or aggregate of all the transaction is more than 50,000, then the entire amount is taxable under the income from other sources. But if the total or aggregate of all the transaction is less than 50,000, it is fully exempted from the taxes. So if you are receiving any gift in the form of cash, we need to take the total of all the transaction and we need to check the maximum or exceed limit. So if you are receiving gift from the cash, then we need to take the aggregate or total of all the transaction, and if that aggregate is more than 50,000, entire amount is taxable. If it is less than 50,000, entire amount is tax free. So the amount of all the transaction is more than 50,000, that is 80,000, entire amount, that is 80,000, is taxable under the head income from other sources. So here we need to mention that aggregate of all the gifts. Aggregate of all the gifts, because he is not receiving any gift in the form of movable property or immovable property. So it's nothing but it's received in the form of cash. So we need to take the aggregate or total of all the cash received or cash gifts, and we need to check the maximum of rupees 50,000. If it is more than 50,000, entire amount is taxable. If it is less than 50,000, entire amount is tax free. So 80,000 is taxable, and we need to do the or we need to take the total amount. So just calculate the total amount So we'll get 3,37,950 as an income from sources. So aggregate of all the gifts if exceed rupees 50,000 is fully taxable. Thank you.